Hey, what's going on there, guys? East here, and I have something pretty special to show you guys today. No, it's not the Edge Pro Apex, which is the fixed angle sharpener that I use to sharpen all my blades. For example, this one, which is the SOG Flashback, if I can get it to focus. It's made out of Osate steel, and it is assisted opener. So as you can see, when it opens, it pretty much flies open. Not an auto knife. You have to actuate it with your hand. Let's switch hands here. So as you can see, I can do it left or right. You just push this thumb stud up and it goes whack right out of there. Look at that. It features its own style lockup here. It's kind of similar to Benchmade's access lock. I forgot what they call it. It has this stainless steel lining here on the outside and the exterior over this FRN material, which is really durable. Has pretty good jimping here on the top for grip. There's some grooves down here in the bottom to help with that. Also here in the top, in the back of the liner, and then the handle has like some sort of jimping, and it goes up to the back of the blade right here. This features Osate steel, which is fairly easy to sharpen. However, it's fairly easy to dull out too. So, what's so special? Well, let's get to it. This here is what I have been waiting for a very long time, and I just gotta find a way to open it now with one hand while holding the camera. So I think it's gonna go like this. I'm gonna pause you guys for a second and get it out of here. Alright, there we go. There it is. I got this from the Cutlery Shoppe. And when I say took long and been waiting, I don't mean shipping wise. The shipping was absolutely lightning fast. I mean, it took long for me to save up enough, I mean, pretty much years, to be able to get this knife. It's a Benchmade. My very first Benchmade. If you guys don't know, watch my other videos. I had a knife collection, or I have a knife collection. I'm pretty big into knives just because of their utility. I use different knives for different things. Use tools for different things. Pretty cool. They gave me some Tootsie Pops here. That's pretty cool. Different color foam for cushion. Came with a Cutlery Shoppe pen, which I will put into use absolutely right away. And here it is. So let's see how this works. I think this slides out of here. And for those of you who don't know about Benchmade and not really familiar with knives, Benchmade is a knife manufacturer who produces knives out of the US. They use primarily US made steel, and this version of knife is actually a special version. It's the 950 Rift made by Benchmade. However, it's the 1401. Now, this is special because it's not a typical rift. This is a Cutlery Shoppe exclusive knife. Which is their version of the rift. And this is why. Okay guys, now that we got the clip off, let's continue. What makes this knife so special is not just that it comes in the orange and black coloration, which is a variant of the normal 950 Rift, which comes in black and gray or sometimes just black, but also the blade steel. I don't know how well you can read that or how well the camera's picking it up, but that is S30V steel. S30V was specifically made for knife making. The original Rift comes in 154 cm. So this mirrors everything of the original 950 Rift by Benchmade. However, the color and the steel is a Cutlery Shoppe take on the 950 Rift. The blade itself has a sheep's foot shape or reverse tanto, whichever way you prefer to call it. It has an access lock, which is very, very, very strong. It comes out absolutely no problem. I have a hard time doing it with that hand, but let's see. It just flies out of there. I mean, it's so balanced. The blade and the handle, just so well balanced. The G10 has, I would say, mild traction. It's not a high traction G10 like the Cold Steel Recon 1 that I have. That one has very grippy G10. This G10 is, like I said, medium traction. It's not amazing, but it's not bad either. One thing is on the back end, the G10 is very, very sharp. It has a corner here that's very, very sharp. You can see the orange anodized spacers in there. Pretty awesome. One thing that this thing does not have is a skeletonized liner. As you can see here, the black part is a steel liner, and it's solid. It's two solid pieces on both ends. No drilling. It's just absolutely solid. This orange and black G10 is layered. I don't know if you can see right there, it's kind of layered, and then that's how they get this effect of the two colors coming out as they grind down into that G10. I've had 154 cm knives. They were pretty hard to sharpen here in the Edge Pro. It took a while, but once I got the Edge, oh my goodness, it was just awesome. S30V, same thing. It takes a while to get it to where it needs to be, but once it has that edge, it's pretty good to go. I think, I'm not a steel expert, but what I've heard was that the S30V has a little bit better corrosion resistance, which is what I need here in the islands because it's always moist and we have 100% humidity almost every single day. so perfect for me. In comparison to the other knife, which is the Os 8 knife that I showed you guys earlier, the SOG flashback. That thing has amazing corrosion resistance. However, it takes a really good edge, but the edge doesn't last long. So that's it. Here it is, the Benchmade 950 Riff. One thing I want to say though, if you're not familiar with Benchmade, Benchmade makes really top quality knives, top quality fit and finish. Right there you can see, take a look at the thumb studs there. They don't stick out far enough to hold on to your pocket when you're sliding it in and out, but just enough to grab there. Awesome. So anyway, back to Benchmade and the knives that they make. They make a lot of different types of knives. This one is again designed by Osborne Design. I forgot his first name. Warren, I think, is his name. Warren Osborne. Famous, very famous knife maker. And this is his trademark design, I believe, is the reverse tanto, or the sheep's foot design, this blade shape. I believe he also made the 940 design, which is a flagship knife by Benchmade. Now, why would you want to get a Benchmade versus a SOG or a Kershaw, or, you know, a more affordable knife, cold steel? Well, Benchmade has a very excellent warranty. And by the way, this is my first Benchmade. Why? Because it costs a good amount of money. It took me almost 2 years to save up enough to get it. So reason being is because I could never quantify. It's like, do I need that, or could I get something else? And there was always something else that I could get. But the reason why I went ahead and pulled the trigger was I just got tired of having to deal with this. You know, that SOG, I mean, great steel, it's never let me down, it's always done the task, but the amount of cutting that I do on a daily basis, that I mean, seriously, I always used to think of people when they held knives or carried knives every day. I always used to have this, I don't know, stereotype that, oh, they need to carry a knife because they're gonna get into trouble, or they're expecting trouble. But, you know, after watching a few knife reviewers out there, a couple that I want to mention that you should go take a look at, highly recommended, is Nutnfancy. Almost every knife or whatever it is, tactical, camping, whatever it is, I always go and take a look at his videos. I like the fact that he's super honest. He'll give it to you straight. He's in nobody's pocket. There's also the Late Boy Scout, very good knife reviewer. I like his reviews. He had very entertaining too, those guys. Great philosophies, just very, 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 you know, solid people. And the Apostle, I hope that's right. And maybe I might just put links into their pages, but I'm by no means any of them. But when I was looking for knife reviews on this Rift, I only found 2. So I was thinking, man, you know what? I know there's a lot of guys who are just like me. They don't watch 1 or 2 reviews on the knife they're getting. They watch all of them, or as much as they can watch, because they want to make sure that they're making the right decision. And at this price point, you really want to make sure that you're making the right choice for yourself. Not really, you can't go wrong with a Benchmade. Seriously, whichever Benchmade you buy, you can't go wrong. But, you know, I just want to look at the size here. I mean, I have pretty large hands, and so when you look at the knife, it fits perfect into my hand. So if you guys have big hands, it's just right. It's really just right. And then I believe the blade length is about a little over, or a little under, sorry, 3.5 inches. 4 point something ounces, I forgot the exact, but it's over 4 ounces. And to tell you the truth, it's not that heavy. I guess it sounds heavier than what it is. The blade itself is pretty broad and very, 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 very sharp, I might add. But it's not something like the Cold Steel Recon 1. That's a monster knife, man. That's a big knife. And so when I carry that, holy cow, it's, you know, there's a knife in your pocket when you carry that thing. This one, however, perfect. It's not gonna disappear in your pocket, but you know, it's small enough to not really bother you, and big enough to do any sort of task you need it to do. Take a look right there. Got the Benchmade logo, the access lock. The access lock is pretty much just a bar that crosses on either end, and it locks the back of the knife. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but when you pull it, it allows the knife to fall through. Let's try that again and see if you guys can pick that up. So that's basically it. There's a spring behind here, so you know, you gotta pull it with some tension, and then when you open it, the knife is really, really, really free flowing. I mean, but once you get it locked down, it's there. It ain't going nowhere unless you take your, you know, you can do one side, you know, at a time if you want. I'm using just my thumb on this side, so it's not like it'll tweak. Then I'll use this finger to do the other side by itself. There you go, super easy. You don't need to do both. But what I like to do, I personally do it just for safety. I just put both there and let it loose, just because I'm not too sure my finger would be in the way when I'm letting it back in. So just as a precaution, this is the way I have it. Let it out, let it in, good to go. Or you can deploy it with your thumb. That's what I do with the Flashback and the Recon and the rest of my knives. I also have a Ontario Rat one. That one's a very awesome knife too, but again, it's AUS 8. Those are AUS 8 steel knives, very good steels. But man, you just gotta be on the Benchmade a lot. I mean, the Edge Pro Apex a lot to keep it to where the edge is as sharp as you want it. So anyway, again, this is the Cutlery Shoppe exclusive S30V version of the 950 Rift. Very, very awesome knife. By the way, the clip can only go tip up on both sides. So either side you want to carry it. It cannot go tip down. But not a big deal for me. I usually just keep it where it's at and use it where it's at. I'm not really particular where the clips are. Usually as soon as I buy the knife, that's where it goes. So that's it, guys. For those of you who didn't pick it up, I do love knives. I have a lot of them. I use them every day as a tool, as a utility. As I was saying before, I used to look at those guys who carried knives and be like, why do you need a knife? But you know, when you get to a certain point, you're gonna find where it's funny how when you start carrying it, you figure that when you without it, you're like, man, I should have brought my knife. You always find yourself needing this, whether it's just cutting cardboard, cutting letters open, cutting a strap, cutting something, you know. I never would think twice about using this as a weapon. In fact, I'd almost not want to have a knife if I was in a confrontation, and if I was, I'd usually just try and get myself out of that situation, keep myself away from any confrontations or any sort of thing like that. Nothing is worth going to jail for, especially assault with a deadly weapon, man, it's just bad news. So anyway, guys, that's my take on the Rift. If you guys want to know more or see it a little in a better detail, whatever, let me know. Once again, you can get this at the Cutlery Shoppe. They do not have any clue that I'm doing this video, and nor will they. I'm just letting you guys know who are watching this video where to get it. It's available now. The price that I got it for was a pretty good deal. It was on sale, so go check it out. Thanks again. 950 Rift East out.